What's up, creators and creatrixes? I'm Wicked. I'm giving power back to the people, and you can't stop me. Today we are going to be discussing amulets, how to make your own, or how to bless one that you have found. But before we dive in, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and click that little bell so that I can help you keep your third eye in the sky. If you're taking notes for your own grimoire or spellbook, you can find the companion article for this video over on the Wicked Witch's web in the virtual grimoire under the craft tools section. With all that being said, let's dive in. Amulets are powerful talismans that have been used by witches and other practitioners for ages. You might choose to use an amulet for general protection or other forms of energy work, or you might use one for a specific intention. Whatever your aim, these steps can help you to accomplish your goals. The first thing that you're going to want to do is choose an amulet. Now, you may have felt called to a specific piece of jewelry, and it doesn't have to be a necklace. It can be a ring or an earring or bracelet. Whatever it is that you want to put your power into is totally fine. So you may have felt called to purchase one, or you may have been gifted one, but you might also want to create your very own. This can be as easy as gathering the pendant, beads, gems, crystals, and a cord to adorn them on. Or it can be a little more complicated than that. You can create it all from absolute scratch if you choose. When you're making an amulet from scratch, the first thing you're going to want to do is settle on your design. So you might have your own specific symbol that you want to use, or you might like to create a sigil. I have a video all about creating sigils if this is the path that you'd like to take, but this isn't something that you have to do. It depends on your intentions and how you want to go about your practice. Once you've decided on your design, you're going to want to figure out how you'd like to craft it. Now, some of you might want to carve into a piece of wood or stone, or you might want to use clay or aluminum. If you choose to use clay, you can use polymer clay, molding clay, air dry clay, or even Play-Doh. You can mold the clay into any shape that you choose, and once you have it ready, you can apply your design, making sure that you leave enough space so that you can poke a hole through it in order to run your cord. After this point, either let it air dry or bake it, or use a kiln if you have access to one. If you choose to use aluminum, this process is going to be a little bit different. Once you have your design, you might want to cut out a specific shape from the aluminum. Afterwards, you're going to want to flatten it so that you can then emboss your design into it. Once again, making sure you leave enough space to run your cord through it. Once you have chosen or created your pendant, you're ready to turn it into a powerful amulet through a blessing. But before the blessing begins, you're going to want to make sure that you cleanse this piece. You can do this with sage or any other type of cleansing practices that you like to use, but ensuring that you get the energy as pure and high vibrational as possible is incredibly important. I also highly recommend doing this with yourself before you begin the blessing so that you don't bring any unwanted energies into this ritual with you. Now, as I always say, witchcraft is incredibly DIY, so if you can create your own blessing to do this, it is going to put more of your own personal power into the working. This allows you to tailor-make your amulet to fit your very own specific intention, even if it's something that you just purchased and didn't create. It's all about the energy that we put into it. So the more personalized that is, the better. Like I said, I have a companion article for this video over in the Wicked Grimoire that is going to have example spells if you need something to draw inspiration from, but do try to write your own for this because it's going to allow you to personalize the entire experience, which will only make it more powerful. Once you have cleansed yourself and your amulet, you can begin to ready yourself for the ritual. Some may choose to do this under a waxing or full moon, under certain astrological transits, in the sun, or simply just whenever you're able to do so. Each of these times has their own powerful energy that is not to be taken for granted. Try to pick one that aligns best for your intentions and for your life. Before you actually begin the blessing, you're going to want to make sure that you cast a solid circle. This is a very simple process that just allows you to envision casting a circle around you using either your finger, a wand, or an athame. I do have steps for this over in the virtual grimoire, but this isn't a complicated process, so try not to overthink it. Once you have your circle, you may want to invite in spirit guides, ancestors, or certain deities to help you with your intention. Once again, this is another process that is going to be better the more that you personalize it, but I do have examples of how to do this over on the website. Once you've set the stage and invited in all of your guests, you're going to want to consecrate your amulet. This is also a very simple process, but the most important part is making sure that you choose the right incense for your intention. I am very fond of using dragon's blood for whatever I can because it brings in extra power, but if I'm working with specific intentions, I might pair dragon's blood with something that fits the bill a little bit better. Certain incense are better for protection while others are better for love workings, so you're going to want to make sure that they correspond with the intentions of your amulet. Once you've chosen your incense, pass your amulet through the smoke as little as 3 times and as many as 9 to fully consecrate it. You can also use oil to do this as well, and that is the simple process of just wetting your fingers and going from the top to the bottom all the way around the circumference of the amulet. Once you're settled in your circle with your chosen energies, it is finally time to bless your amulet. You may choose to hold your amulet in your hands as you cast, or you might choose to place it on your altar, but I highly recommend holding your hands around the amulet so that your energy can pass all the way through it. But above all else, make sure that you follow your gut because every experience is different and your soul is going to know how best to complete this process. Once you've decided, it's time to cast your spell. Now, again, I do have examples of this if you need the inspiration, but do try to write your own because every intention is different, as is every person. And the more of your own personal power and intention you put into your amulet, the more powerful it is going to be. If you really struggle with the writing process, you can use any of my spells or any that you find in your own resources and tweak them however you need to make sure they fit the bill of your intention. When it comes to spell casting, it is totally fine to get inspired by whatever helps you get into the right frequency to manifest your intentions. After you've blessed your amulet, it's time to kindly dismiss all of your invited guests. This is an incredibly important part of ritual because if you do not show gratitude to all of the non-physical entities that have joined you and lent you their energies, they're probably not going to help you actually finish this process. It's also best not to invoke any ill will or negative energies from these entities. Relationships should always be about equal give and take, but especially when you are working with non-physical deities, spirit guides, and ancestors. If you're practicing this rite on a full moon, you may want to leave your amulet out in the moonlight overnight to finish charging it. But if you're doing this before or after, just try to catch it on the next full moon so that you can get its energy as high as possible. You can also use a crystal like selenite to help you charge your amulet. You can use any of these processes to charge and recharge your amulet for the rest of your life, but it is particularly important to do this if you feel that your amulet has been drained. You might notice this has happened if it starts to feel different. Perhaps it'll be uncommonly cold, heavier than usual, or just generally uncomfortable to wear or be around. This can happen anytime you deal with really highly intense emotional energies or any sort of traumatic situations or incredibly negative people. Situations like this can do a lot of damage to an amulet, so it's important that you're paying attention to it and that you recharge it anytime you feel that its energy has been drained. Nasty energies and energy vampires will suck the powers out of anything they can, so make sure that you protect your amulet as your amulet has been protecting you. That's all I have for this one. Thank you so much for joining me, and make sure to like and subscribe so that I can help you keep your third eye in the sky. Happy crafting and have a wicked day.